apply. We've already seen in week one how important the Articles of Association and Memorandum of Association of a company are, setting out the framework or rules for the boards of directors. And it's always worth coming back to those documents, for example, if you are trying to manage somebody's performance or deal with conduct situations, because those documents tend to set out, for example, limits on the activities of the directors. So an obvious example might be in respect of agreeing contracts of a certain value or not spending more than a certain sum of money without the matter being voted on by the board. If somebody's gone off and done that, then they could be in trouble under those documents. It does frighten me how often when I speak to individual directors that they don't know what the rules that they're operating under for their own companies are. So it's always worth, if you're in HR, if you're trying to manage directors, going back to those documents and seeing what framework or strictures they bring to bear on the situation. The other thing that's always worth bearing in mind is that there are implied duties on any director. For example, to act in the company's interests and to not make secret profits, for example, or fiduciary duties towards the company. Again, always worth coming back to those. In addition, your service agreement might set out some of the company law obligations of a director. Always worth coming back to those. Express obligations that are set out in the Companies Act of 2006 that specify directors have to behave in certain ways, for example, acting in the interests of employees, considering the impact on the community and the environment, fostering good business relationships with suppliers and others, needing to act fairly between shareholders or members, maintaining a high standards and reputation of the business. You can see how you might use some of those express duties on a director when it then comes to perhaps criticising something that they have done if you need to. So again, always worth going back to those Companies Act duties when you're considering any action against a director. Also going back to what we were talking about induction and training. If somebody's coming to the UK, for example, from outside, they may not understand those Companies Act obligations on a director, so it might be worth giving them some training around what those obligations are so that they understand them